All right, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. I know this is very last minute. I came across an article, and it it's going along with what I spoke about yesterday. But this time around, not this time around, but it seems like they're starting early with their stuff. So one of the articles I read, it's pretty much talking about this super flu, and they're already talking about casualties, but we'll get into it after the 6 minute. So anyway, Nostradamus 5x5, Base Bunny, The Watchman, Busy, Dobie, Sarita, thank you for the 5x5, Salty, Kimberly, Flown Grown, thank you for the 5x5, Ozark, Loretta, Evolving Media, Krista, thank you for the 5x5, The Watchman, Groundhog, Jason, Toto, Tina, thank you for the 5x5, Salty Dog, Wisconsin, Renee, Elaine, Trapper Bob, JF, Craig, thank you for the 5x5, Monica, what's going on? Patch, thank you for the 5x5. Yeah, I nailed the volume this time around. Jan, Bubbles, thank you for the 5x5. Colt, Elite, Highlander, Mr. Landfill, thank you for the 5x5. Vegan, Supernova, Cam Near, thank you for the 5x5. Comet Moon, Bubbles, thank you for the 5x5. Water Tiger, Docs, Shore, thank you for the 5x5. 1 second after. Crow, Eric, Standalone, thank you for the 5x5. Let's Go, Pumpkin, Wody, Jenny, and Ken, thank you for the 5x5. Miss Nancy, thank you. And Tristan, thank you. Liz, thank you for the 5x5. Suze and Survival Dirt Bike, thank you for the 5x5. BH, thank you for the 5x5. All right. And Prep to Adapt, Maria Jackson, thank you for the 5x5 on Rumble. So, guys, anyway, this strain that I think they're beating this with a dead horse, if you ask me. I mean, like, they're just already going after it. If Rumble is, I mean, excuse me, if YouTube is acting up, please let me know. Appreciate it. I just had something weird happen on this side. So, all right. Yeah, no problem. It's amazing. People, well, listen, people complain about anything on YouTube. They don't like what you have on. They're gonna complain about it. So you can't change everything for everyone. Obviously, if the majority of people complain about some shit, yeah, then you as a YouTube channel, you try to comply. But yeah, people complain about everything. Anyway, so guys, of course, I looked into it, and according to Google, I do not know how true this is. The flu season this year already has taken 1,900 lives. So I looked at that and I'm like, wait, really? Didn't the flu season just start? Right. So unless they talked to, and they didn't say this year, they said this year's flu season. Flu season normally starts around October, November, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, with that, I looked a little deeper, not deeper, but I, floating around on the internet here and, being nosy and shit and sticking my nose where it doesn't belong. And supposedly a kid has already passed away from it. I think it was a kid in Wisconsin, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and they're already talking about how it's hitting kids hard. That's why, a lot of the schools here in the United States are, So yeah, it this article here, first recorded child passing away as supervirus overwhelms cities. So don't know much about the kid. That's the other problem. They're probably not going to tell us. And it wasn't Wisconsin. It was Colorado. Excuse me. So I saw yesterday, like as soon as the live stream ended, I saw two, but I couldn't find that article. It seemed like it's only one. So yeah, this again, T. Chris. That's the problem. It's not unnormal, but the fact that they're wording it as such. U.S. U.S. records first child passing away from the flu. That's again, it's the wording. It's not because yeah, people do pass away from this, and it's usually old people. And when it is kids, it's usually a sickly kid. It's not like a healthy kid. But anyway, nonetheless, this is the nonsense that we are starting to see, and I'm wondering if they're beating that drum so that they can start implementing shit come January 1st or 2nd or whatever it is. Now, I found it interesting that another article I saw today while researching this stuff, actually, I saw it yesterday. I paid it no mind, and then I looked at it again. I go, here we go. So the article read somewhere along the lines is the super flu going to steal Christmas away from us for the most part? And I'm like, what? I said, again, guys, this is where we are. I just found it interesting. So anyway, doing a live stream tonight for the purpose of be aware of the nonsense. We're going to talk about some of the articles that are out there, circulating out there. Listen, guys, people are getting sick. That's without doubt. I know a lot of people who are sick. I will suspect by the end of this week, we're going to have a lot of dudes out of work, right? That's just what it is, especially being as contagious as this is. And it's aggressive on top of everything else, Not only is it contagious, it's super aggressive. But if you are a fairly decent, healthy human being, you'll be okay, right? Johnny 308, if he's on here, I'd like to see how he's doing. It's the only people who never get sick, strippers. The strip clubs are always open no matter what's going on. It's like this. It's the most wild place. It's probably all the bacteria and the diseases that are there that keep their immune system so strong. They seemingly never get sick. Greg Thomas, yes, December 2019, yes, started their nonsense. Except for here, it started in the UK, and it started in the UK again around August or so, and that's when I started recognizing it. I'm here doing much better. Very good, Johnny 308. So he's still alive and he's doing good. But still, guys, this is just almost history repeating itself. Now, let's just see how far they're going to go. Now, they are beating up the drum again. People are talking about it, but not like they did with Mr. 19. In fact, actually, with Mr. 19, people didn't talk about it till January, February, when they started talking about shutting shit down. Before that, a lot of people did not care. People were just going about their lives, live streaming on their phones, doom scrolling. They didn't give a shit. But as soon as they started talking about shutting things down, people started paying attention. So it's sort of like the same thing. I mean, I hear people talking about people getting sick and them getting sick, but not as far as how bad, what this is going to look like in a couple of weeks. Been a 3-week ride so far. It's 3 weeks. I know my daughter's still sick. I text the ex today, and she was like, both of them are actually still sick. They still feel like shit, but whatever. They will survive. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, I heard about the Epstein file being dropped. You know what? I really don't care because redacted files. I saw that. I was like, yeah, they can kiss my nuts on the left side. Seriously, it's not going to go anywhere. No one's going to get in trouble. It's like anything else, man. Listen, that whole thing. If you guys watched my video on the Angry Truth today about what Israel or how Israel is behaving and how our politicians are behaving with Israel, as far as always putting Israel on a pedestal, it's insanity. Insane. I mean, like, yo, it's almost as bad as Ukraine. They're like, Israel is just the best. And then that guy, this fat dude was like, oh, you're a Jewish president. I always knew you were a Jewish president. What? It was a Hanukkah event at the White House. It was the worst. I've never seen such catering to any group of people outside of that. It was bad. It was by far the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's I think he's trying to say Franny, but he said Granny. I'm like, Granny? Who the hell's a Granny on here? I'm like, oh, he means Franny. Yeah, auto spell. But anyway, again, that's a different subject. You guys have to watch that Hanukkah thing at the White House. You got to watch it. First of all, as the president of the United States, he shouldn't be having any Hanukkah celebrations, period. He's not Jewish. It's simple as that. It's a simple solution to that. Don't. Because now what is he going to do? He's going to have Ramadan at the White House, right? He's going to have Kim's Swahili, some African holiday there. Like, he shouldn't have had a Hanukkah anything there. I wouldn't have done it. I would like, no dice, dude. We're not doing this. We're not eating lox, bagels, and throwing pennies at each other. I'm out on that shit. But nonetheless, they had it there. And the way this guy was hugging up on Trump, I've never seen that before. I've never seen somebody handle the president of the United States like that. It was embarrassing. It was holy shit. No gilfing in the chat? Yeah. I would assume so. I would assume Kushner is. He has to be with a name like that. But anyway, guys, on the Angry Truth tonight, we're going to talk about the hunt because I just found out some interesting information on what they are planning to do and what they're currently doing right now to find people that disagree with them. I have to be careful how I word it because, you know, them, the tiny hats, always listening. But you gotta, the shit that I found out today, I was like, what? So I was gonna do it Tuesday, but I'm like, fuck it. I'll do a Friday live stream that'll make up for next week, right? So anyway, he wears a what? He wears a menorah in the closet. He probably does. He probably has a menorah hat. And Chewy said, yeah. I mean, listen, just based on his name, you know, I went with that. Krista, that would make sense, but I don't know, man. Listen, I'm not digging any of this shit, like not at all, not even a little bit. You know, it doesn't make sense to sit there and go, oh, you know, Congress doesn't have as much pull with Jews anymore, or no, Jews don't have a lot of influence over Congress. When he said that, I was like, he said something around about that. I was like, wait, what? I'm like, we can't win, man. We can't win. Either we're stuck with Biden or Kamala Harris or Trump. It's like, and all three of them, well, Trump sold us out. Kamala Harris would definitely sold us out. That's without a doubt. I think Biden would have definitely sold us out too. But the way they're selling us out, it's embarrassing. And it's out in the open and no one's calling it. And the problem is, as soon as you make a gripe about this kind of nonsense, they want to blacklist you, right? They want to call you a Jew hater. Again, we're going to get into that later tonight on the Angry Truth channel. Again, a bunch of information I found out, shit that they actually have going on. They're trying to make people's lives a living hell. So stay tuned later tonight. Again, tonight's going to be just a short, probably 20 minutes or so. I had some videos to do, but I might do one video for tomorrow morning and then nothing on Sunday. Yeah, man, we are 100% screwed, like 1,000% screwed. Anyway, so doctors, guys, are talking about how bad this will be, and experts are also saying most people will be sick at some point between this year and next year, right? For the rest of this year and next year, people are going to get sick, and it's just because of how contagious it is and how aggressive it is, right? Yeah, so. Yarmuka, yeah. Well, I say that because I have to throw the thing off. You know what I mean? The thing. Anyway, the mutated flu strain, also known as H3N2 subclade K, has been associated with a rise of cases and hospitalizations. Again, guys, I am a little wary of hospitalizations now, just being that if you're in a hospital for longer than either 8 or 12 hours, they consider it hospitalization. Though you didn't get a bed, though you were in the waiting room the entire time, I'm pretty sure they consider that hospitalization after either 8 or 12 hours. I can't remember which one it was. But anyway, leading to the estimated 1,900 people in the United States that passed away from the flu this season so far. Experts are concerned about its ability to evade immunity from the flu arm ticket, which may contribute to the severity of the illness. So now they're trying to say, I saw this somewhere else, they're trying to say that if you take the current flu arm ticket that it will help with the H3N2 severity. So it'll help with the severity, meaning it won't be as bad if you have something on board. They're pretty much trying to say something is better than nothing. Bullshit. Because people have gotten severely sick after taking the flu arm ticket because they had another variant that the arm ticket didn't protect them from. So now they're trying to say that, well, if you have something, it's better than nothing. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Like, seriously, enough with the nonsense, you know? So yeah, and anyway, this is the nonsense that they're trying to push. They're saying 1,900 people so far. I think this year, I'm thinking this year, but they make it sound like since the flu season, 1,900 people since August. That's a lot, if that's the case. H5N1 mutation, boom. Yeah, I guess that would be bad. Listen, they're talking about what was it? They were talking about another uh, COVID being mutated. Again, I don't know where they're going with that. Patriot Patriot Games is a kid thing or a parrot thing. I don't know, whatever. So, all right. So the overview, guys, of the mutated flu strain that they keep saying, and they say mutated because it sounds very, it sounds cool. You know, it sounds like it's gripping. Someone reads it, go mutated flu. I got to read this. You know, so I'm pretty sure if I put that in my title, you know, here goes the mutated 2026 pandemic. It'll rank higher. Anyway, flu cases and death. As of mid-December 2025, the CDC estimated that there have been approximately 4.6 million cases in the United States. Hospitalizations have reached about 49,000, with 1,900 people no longer here during this flu season. The variant has been linked to an increase in severe cases, particularly among vulnerable populations such as the elderly and young children and people who have been arm ticketed with the Mr. 19 arm ticket. So yeah, I think, guys, that a lot of people that are getting sick had the Mr. 19 on board, and that wore out or has worn out their immune system, and so now they're easily able to get sick. Right, so there's that. Something to consider. Anyway, cumulative hospitalization rates are currently about 7 cases per 100,000 people, which is consistent with previous year. But some areas, like New York City, are experiencing significant increase. Texas, for example, has reported an increase in hospitalization, especially among those over the age of 65. All the old people are going to be running for the hills with this shit. Oh no, I don't want to get sick, you know? He said, my father had the arm ticket for the flu in the 80s and had Bell's palsy. Betty, does he still have it? Does he still have Bell's palsy? Yeah, Johnny threw it away. Trump said the quiet part out loud. Yeah. When he said that, I was like, damn, he didn't mean to say that. Or maybe he did because it's Trump. He doesn't give a shit. He can say whatever the hell he wants. You know? All right, all right, all right. So that's the hospitalizations, and Texas is seeing, and New York is seeing an increase right now. They're talking about New York being one of the hot spots. I'm like, the hot spots? What are we talking about? This isn't a summer location, but whatever. So, in conclusion to this article, rather, or I guess it's an article, emergence of the H3N2 subclade K variant is concerning due to its rapid spread and potential to cause severe illness. Public health officials emphasize the importance of arm ticketing and monitoring flu symptoms, especially as the flu season progresses. They tell you in the beginning of all articles, well, that the current arm ticket for the flu doesn't have the H3N2 in it, but that you should get it anyway. Anything for the dollar, huh? Beat that drum for a dollar bill. They're going to continue to do it. Anyway, so the U.S. records the first child flu death as supervirus overwhelms cities. The U.S. has recorded its first pediatric person passing away of the 2025-2026 respiratory virus season. The CDC, the CDC reported the death in its weekly report for the week ending in December 11th. The agency didn't give details on the child, but on Tuesday, Colorado health officials confirmed the state's first influenza-associated death of a child for this season. It is not known if the Colorado child is the same in the CDC's report. That's why I saw another article saying too, right? According to the Colorado health officials, the child was an elementary school age and lived in Denver, where they passed away last week. Multiple U.S. states are seeing skyrocketing cases of a new superflu strain weeks earlier than expected. The surges are thought to be largely driven by the new flu strain, the H3N2 subclade K, which is on the rise in more than 3 dozen states. The Colorado child's death was associated with the influenza strain A, officials said. The H3N2 is a subtype of influenza A, and the CDC reported that 89% of the influenza A H3N2 samples tested since September belong to the clade K, whatever. It was not specified if the Colorado patient died from the subclade strain. Now, again, they're not sure that the kid died from it, but articles are saying he did. This is what I'm talking about when I mentioned earlier how they're starting with their nonsense. So now they don't have concrete evidence that the kid passed away from this strain, but they still put it in the title. So again, guys, I'm not maybe I'm sure. I'm sure that maybe they're trying to work our nerves, because this is a stressor for a lot of people, right? People see this and they start getting nervous and scared. People see this and they start lining their kids up to get the arm ticket for the flu. Meanwhile, they are unsure of this, or hasn't been specified, excuse me. Colorado Department of Public Health and Environmental report a 43% rise in flu-related hospitalizations during the last week of November. Now, the one thing, if I'm not mistaken, there's no real way that they can test for whether or not this is the H3N2 or another strain outside of pulling blood, I think, or there's some kind of test they need to do, which I do not see them doing, right? There was a doctor, actually, just early this week that talked about the testing for Mr. 19. He goes, it's all bullshit. He goes, there was no real way to tell that you had Mr. 19 because the testing was false. It was either false, it was false like 90% of the time. But they wanted to give people something to feel good about. So meanwhile, you got tested and you probably had it and it popped negative. Or it popped positive and you were actually negative. That was the problem they were seeing with the test. And yet they still rolled it out. So yeah. So Nova, is that Nova Scotia? Says 3 kids passed away from the influenza A related complications in Ottawa and Eastern Ontario region. Thank you for that. I didn't see that. Appreciate it. So I mean, I would assume that this is the one that they're passing away from, being that this one again is a lot more aggressive, and everybody who's had it so far said they felt the worst they've ever felt in their life, and some people have had the flu and said this one was worse. Right now, I don't know what you're doing if you're getting the flu every year. I don't know if you're licking the walls or poles or, like licking the ground at the subway station. I don't know who gets the flu every year, but apparently people do. I am 48 and have never gotten the flu. With that, I'm probably going to get it this year because it just sounds like I'm bragging about it. I get a healthy immune system. I don't have a bitch-ass immune system. Now I'm going to get sick. But my point, guys, is that this is all to stress out your body, to stress your immune system so that you wind up getting sick. Now, are we going to see lockdowns? I think so. I think we're going to see light ones. I don't think we're going to see anything heavy. I don't think we're going to see anything heavy. I think we're probably going to see light ones. School closures and stuff like that. Nothing like we saw in 2020. We're like, you better stay home. I don't think we're going to see that. But we're going to see something close to it. All right. Handle. Yeah, listen, I don't know. I can see people doing the toilet paper thing again. I was watching this show called The Superstore. It's American Ferrera. She's in the show, and she's a liberal, but that show with her in it was fucking funny. Anyway, they did the whole COVID thing in the TV show, and they talked about they don't even they said they don't know where that toilet paper. They cannot track where the toilet paper thing came from. They can't. I think a couple of people I remember saying they had diarrhea, and I think with that people were like, "Oh my god, if I get COVID, I'm gonna need toilet paper," and they ran out of God. That's the only thing I could think of. But it's funny how a lot of TV shows they just can't come up with why people thought that. Anyway, the CDC figures dated December 6th, the latest available, shows high levels of influenza activity in Colorado. The data also shows very high transmissions of influenza in New York City and high activity in New Jersey, New York State, and Louisiana. This year's dominant flu strain is brand new to people's immune system, making them highly vulnerable and and risk of severe hospitalizing illness. It's called having a bitch ass immune system. Anyway, nationwide, 1.8% of the flu tests were positive during the week of December 6th, up from 7.1% the week before. The rate of outpatient respiratory illness is also up from 2.9 to 3.2%. About 3 million people have contracted the illness so far, and there have been 1,200 people that passed away from the flu this season. They're talking about the H3N2. Approximately 30,000 people have been hospitalized during the 2024-2025 virus season. There were 268 pediatric associated deaths last year, or between 2024 and 2025. Excuse me. Additionally, the latest CDC data shows an influenza hospitalization rate of 6.9 per 100,000 people nationwide compared to 4.3 per 100,000 people the week before. At this time last year, 5.1% of tests came back positive, and hospitalization rates were at 3.1% per 100,000. The disease typically peaks in December and February after the winter holidays. That's because obviously people are gathering, getting together, doing all the bullshit. In February, I assume people are like skiing and shit, doing white people shit. Anyway, New York City's acting health commissioner, Dr. Michelle Morse, said the city's case were skyrocketing and urged residents to get their annual shot and to wear a face covering if symptoms developed. Every year, every fucking year, at the end of every article, they want you to get your thing. Put it in your arm and shut up and like it. And for what? You're still going to get... Every guy I know who's taken it, when they started doing this in the firehouse, they started taking us offline for about a half hour to get the injections. All right. And then from day one, I was out on it. I'm like, I'm not doing this. They're like, why not? I'm like, because I don't need it. I said, if I had the fucking immune system of tissue paper, maybe, but I don't. So I don't need it. So anyway, guys are getting it, and I would make fun of them. And now, this year, the last 2 years actually, guys are not taking it. Guys are just like, they're out on it. I'm like, when are you going to learn? The last time I spoke to one guy, I was like, when are you going to learn? You're going to take something you don't need that your body can fight off naturally. 1, 2, if you take care of yourself, you won't get sick. Period. With that, this year we went and nobody took the shot. We just, we signed our piece of paper and we left. We got back on the rig, went back to quarters. Maria Jackson says, I have it now for my grandkids. I'm very sure my system is low because of some depression. Losing my son this year. I feel I get over flu season. Maria Jackson. Yeah, listen, I again, sorry for your loss. Yeah, listen, that's stressful, man. That's stressful shit. That is possibly one of the more stressful things in your life is losing a kid. And then having that eat at you for the rest of your life. Your immune system's going to be down. That's why I'm assuming that I might get sick this year just because, you just... And then on top of that, you don't get sleep, right? You're up all hours of the night. I find myself walking around the apartment for what? Sometimes it's so bad it'll be like 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning. I get dressed, go downstairs and go for a walk, right? So, I mean, yeah, the stress is definitely a huge factor in getting sick, right? You could be healthy, you could be Johnny healthy, but as soon as you are stressed out and stressed out constantly, your immune system starts to come down, right? So, flu season hits kids hard. As the holiday nears, older adults are likely to be next. They act like this thing is an assassin and it's coming after you. The way some of these titles are written out, you know, flu season, hitting kids hard, putting them on their ass. The old people are next. Like, okay, it'll be okay. Everybody will be fine. Okay, not everybody. Those people with those weak ass immune system, tissue paper, paper mache immune systems, yeah, they're fucked. But everybody else, you'll be fine. Anyway, a new strain called the 3HN2 has emerged, raising concerns that the body may not be able to fight it off as well. Experts say everyone should absolutely still get the thing in their arm they don't need. I shit you not, this is in the beginning of the article. They're stating everyone should absolutely get the shot. Anyway, flu season has taken off nationwide with cases rising rapidly in some parts of the country over the past few weeks. We've seen sustained elevated activity across multiple key indicators in many areas of the country, says Alice Budd, the head of the Center for Disease Control and Prevention Domestic Influenza Surveillance Team. They got a lot of different teams in the CDC. I'm like just curious as to how many like departments they had. You wipe your pee. What is that? Anyway, I always look at the wrong, chat that comes up. Anyway, the CDC released its latest report on the flu Friday, estimating that so far this season, there have been at least 4.6 million illnesses, causing more than 49,000 hospitalizations, with 1,900 people passing away. Now, again, the number of 1,200 people passing away was this flu right here. It's the H3N2. It's the H3N2. Anyway, young children, infants through the age of 4, have been hit the hardest so far. There are plenty of other evidence of early and aggressive flu seasons. There is plenty of other evidence, I guess, whatever. I don't know what the hell that means. From November to December, wastewater contamination. Here we go. Who is hanging out in fucking wastewater, by the way? I never heard of this until the Mr. 19 event. And then after that, they're like, yeah, wastewater scanning. Who the fuck is hanging out in wastewater? Like, they're just like, hey, Bob, we need a sample of wastewater. Okay. And I know he's in the suit. It doesn't fucking change the fact that who's hanging out and who's sampling this shit. Like, this is like a new thing now. Of course you're going to get this stuff in wastewater. This is how you test it. There's got to be a better way, man, than hanging out in wastewater. Hey, Bob, today it's your day. You're hanging out in wastewater, son. I'm pretty sure they collect it in a different way than I'm explaining it. But in my head, it looks like a dude hanging out in the fucking, in a tube, sewer tube, collecting water samples and handing it up. I'm pretty sure it's not like that. But it's funny that way. Anyway, so where the hell were we? So wastewater contaminations from influenza type A has rose 390% nationwide, according to a data from the wastewater scan, an academic program through Stanford University in partnership with Emory University. I'm scared to fucking click this, but I'm going to click it because, yes, it's a website called Wastewater Scan Dashboard, and a map pulls up of the United States and some of Canada, a little bit of Mexico, and a bunch of numbers pop up. Boom. And so far, they are all purple. I don't know what that means, but not detected, low. So talk about different pathogens around the country. Human, what is it? MPV, not the papillomavirus. It's the human metapneumovirus. Excuse me. Human metapneumovirus is low. Influenza B is low. Influenza A is high. RSV is low. COVID is medium. Measles low. But it's like a map of the country. And it's waterwastescan.org if you're looking to go on it. Matter of fact, I'll just put it in the chat so you guys can look at it and have fun with it too. But it's a bizarre map to look at. All right, all right, all right. So, upward trend is increasing very consistently, said Marlene Wolf, program director of the wastewater scan and an assistant professor of environmental health at Emory. We're not yet seeing any signs of plateauing. Dr. Chase Shukta, medical director of the Children's Minnesota, said positive flu cases at the facility doubled within the past week. Symptoms have varied. In some years, every child who presents with the flu has that classic influenza appearance. They look kind of dazed, miserable, even glassy look in their eyes. They don't look dazed. They're kind of grayish. Even black kids look gray, right? You see it like when you look at white kids. Sometimes you really can't tell because some white kids look like shit. You know, they look like they're sick all the time. They like this is their general disposition. But sometimes when you look at like maybe an Italian kid or a Greek kid or a black kid, and they look gray, like oh this kid's gonna die, right? Because they're like look how sick they look. But generally the dazed look, no. Miserable, yes. Grayish skin tone, yep. Pale, absolutely. But anyway, in addition, this year he said there's a fair number of kids who have milder symptoms, but annoying enough that they're still coming in. Influenza A, specifically the H3N2, is a dominant strain right now. While anyone of any age can be infected or affected, H3N2 tends to cause more hospitalizations and passing away in older people. There is concern that kids who are sick now with flu will spread it to their grandparents and other older adults who have over the holidays. Oh well. With schools going on break for a couple of weeks and family gathering happenings, it's quite possible that some of the existing mixing of viruses among school groups are going to change at a different population. They're talking about the parents and shit. Yes, a grayish looking black kid could be ashy. You're right. He might need some lotion, but that's a different discussion for a different day. Um, you guys see this video? Because I'm thinking ashy black kids and this video of this lady who was having kids smoke weed. I'm gonna find the video. I'm gonna try to do a video on it. I don't know what YouTube's going to do about it. I'm gonna give it my shot, my best. But yeah, it was crazy. It was like three kids, and she had them smoking weed, and I think it was definitely a lesbian, like one of those white ass lesbians that are hanging out with them, with the mother, because she had like tattoos all over the place. She looked like shit too, general disposition. But the video was insane. Kids were taking a pull off of weed. Okay, muddy sneaker sword. Yeah, that was crazy shit. I'm like, and the people like the mother's white. First of all, that's not the mother. That's some chick that the mother's banging, or maybe the father. But she looks like a dyke, so she's definitely banging the mother, not the dad. You need ID to buy Nyquil. Do you need ID to buy Nyquil? Is that true? I don't know. You know why I don't know this? Because I don't get sick, so I don't have to run out and get Nyquil. Though the last Nyquil I bought actually was 2-3 years ago. It was in my locker, so maybe it's bad now. I don't know. Whatever. I haven't had to take any of that shit in a long time. But during the whole COVID mishaps, I was taking it, and it didn't help. That shit don't help, man. You gotta take care of yourself naturally. Some people it works for, I guess, but that Nyquil shit didn't work for me. Not at all. Not even a little bit. All right, so doctors are warning of the super flu variant in hotspots like New York. Anyway, so guys, kids are going to take off now. Before I get in that article, kids are going to take off if kids are sick or harboring this, this with harbinger of death, if you will, to transfer over to the grandparents. We're going to see more of that in the next few weeks. Actually, in the next week, we're going to see a lot more of that. We're going to see a lot more of adults get sick, parents, right? Kids are coming home. To be fair, I mean, I was at the Christmas party. I didn't get sick. My kids got sick, but I guess because I live alone, that helps. But I'm also going in and out of homes of people that are sick, and I haven't gotten sick. So we shall see. Again, right now, I cut my sugar intake down. I'm about to reduce it even more just so that I don't wind up getting sick. So everything's going to be either black coffee or fucking green tea, which I can't stand. Fuck pizza. Nostradamus. Nice one. It's funny. The Rock looks sick, man. I think The Rock is sick. People like he was getting ready for a movie role. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. He looks like shit, man. He looks like looks like an old bald-headed lesbian now. Like, it's fucking crazy. The way he looks now is fucking just bad. It's funny because I remember, when I asked my mother about the flu, I was like, didn't I have the flu? Like, I've gotten sick, obviously, over the years, but few far in between. And my mother said I never got the flu. And I remember, and anytime I've gotten sick, it lasted less than 24 hours or 24 hours. It'd be like I get chills, I'd be out of commission for like a day. And then the next day, it'd be like nothing ever happened. But again, that was few far in between. And when I had COVID, I think I had COVID for a day, right? And again, that was because I was being stupid. I don't get sick. COVID ain't got shit on me. And then I got sick. I was like, fucking stupid. But again, it lasted 24 hours, if that. If that. I slept it off. The next day I got up. I was like, oh, I feel a lot better. And I remember in the beginning of Mr. 19, people were saying, you got to stay active. You got to stay moving when you get sick. That's the only way your body fights it. And you should fast when you're sick. That's you're going to fight it faster by fasting, if that makes sense. Johnny 308 says, make sure you have a pulse oximeter in your preps. It's not a bad idea, as long as you know how to use it. David said, is Dwayne Johnson, is he pushing 60, right? Isn't he? Yeah, I think he's like 56 years old or something. If you're dark, especially if your hands are cold, melanin absorbs that light. I guess. The Rock is smoking crack rock? Probably. I mean, I don't know, man. He looks like shit. And I thought it was for a movie role, but you're like, what movie role is he applying for? A gay man with AIDS? Like, what is he playing for? I don't know. It just looks like shit. It's either between an old lesbian or a crackhead, or, they're redoing Philadelphia 2.0, and he's, I don't know. David said, heck, I'm 56. Once your oxygen level gets below 92, you're in the danger zone. Yeah, I know. Fever is a good thing. Fever is a good thing, right? Just you don't want it to get too high. But yeah. Listen, I don't know, man. This stuff. It seems like they're trying to repeat what we went through before. That's all I'm doing. This. Plus, I was bored. It's another reason why I did the live stream. Man. I was bored. I'm walking around the house. I'm looking at TV. I'm like, yeah, I really don't feel like watching anything. Then I saw these articles. I'm like, yeah, let's do a live stream. Why not? The Rock is 53. All right, so then he shouldn't look the way he looks. Um, could be doing Andrew cream. Yeah, that's what somebody said in the comment, Ken Harrison. I forgot where I was looking at, but I looked in the comment section to see if people were breaking his balls, and they were. And that comment came up that he wasn't taking the Andrew cream anymore, something like that. I was like, that's weird. Or he's doing that sacrifice thing, right? Apparently there's a new thing in Hollywood where look at the chicks, the bitches, fucking the whores on Hollywood. The fuck, man, the Wicked Witch of the West and Glenda, those two, man, Wicked. Thank you, Wicked. That movie. Look at those two. They look like complete trash right now. They both look like dancing skeletons, except for one's black and the other one is whitish. I'm like, what's going on there? And then you got The Rock. You got a couple other people looking very suspiciously like they're trying to, like they're being hazed, right? Angiochrome. Sorry, I said angiochrome. Excuse me, angiochrome. But yeah, like they're being hazed, like for fraternity or some shit. Like they have to show their allegiance to that guy, the devil, not not Jesus, and they have to show their allegiance to him, and that's part of it. Is doing some nonsense where they wind up looking really sick. So they should be bouncing back within the next couple of months. And if they bounce back the way I think they're going to, then they were definitely doing that whole sacrificial bullshit. The dressing up like a chick, that bullshit they want them to do. Jay-Z did it. I didn't even know that till the other day, you know? But yeah. Yes, Baptista looked the same way. Someone just mentioned it. Yeah. Yeah, Amy Schumer's another one. Amy Schumer thinks, and it's funny, right? Amy Schumer dropped all that weight, and now her and her husband are divorcing. I'm like, he must have seen something he didn't like. Androchrome and adrenochrome. Which one is it? Yeah, I don't know. You guys are more up to date on that shit than I am. It's not. It's. I think it's adrenochrome, right? I'm pretty sure it's adrenochrome. Baptista, yeah, Baptista looks like shit. Listen, maybe him and The Rock had sex and they both have AIDS now. Maybe that's it, Maybe that's what they love. Or again, they're both auditioning for fucking Philadelphia 2.0, you know? Starring Tom Hanks. But isn't Tom Hanks dead? Adrenochrome. It's adrenochrome. Adrenochrome. All right, not adrenal. Someone said it the other way. Are the tickets in pill form? Salty Dog. Thank you for mentioning that because a year ago, they were talking about putting the arm tickets in the pill form. They have a nasal form now, which I don't know why they're not pushing it. No, I think I know why they're not pushing it. But yeah, it doesn't. I don't hear them pushing it as much. But the pill form, I heard, and then that was it. I don't hear anything of it. Adrenochrome. You guys know what I mean. Whether it's adrenochrome or adrenochrome, you know what I fucking mean. Adrenochrome. Adrenochrome, right. Yeah, you know the crazy shit about the Ozempic thing? Again, there's something in Ozempic. I am 1,000% convinced there is something in Ozempic that changes your psychosis. Because everybody who takes it thinks they look good. That's the crazy shit. I saw a chick who had the soggiest body in the world. She was a cutie pie, but she put this dress on and she looked like shitballs. Like she just looked soft, like a silly putty body, right? And I'm like, and that's when I asked her. I was like, she's talking about how she loves working out, but I'm looking at her body, and her body's not saying she loves working out. Her body says I love fucking pudding pops, right? So I'm staring at her, and then I said, "So what do you do for working out?" And she goes, "Oh, I do." What the fuck did she say? She didn't say CrossFit. She said something else. I think she said CrossFit. And I go, "Wow, we're still doing that." And anyway, she goes, "Yeah." I go, "That's how you lost all the weight?" She goes, "Oh no, I took," and she named some other drug. So I go, "Really?" She goes, "Yeah." I say, "So are you looking to tone up? Lift some weights?" She goes, "No, I don't want." She goes, "Because if I lift weights, I'm gonna bulk up." I looked at her like, "Are you fucking stupid?" I didn't say that to her, but I wanted to say that to her because I'm like, "You are." I think she was like close to 40, if not, she was like 38 or 40. I'm like, "You're not bulking up, lady. You're past that age." And women don't bulk up. They get a little muscle tone, but they don't bulk up like you see these chicks who are massive because they're taking steroids. You're not going to be taking steroids, so you don't have to worry about that. She's like, "Yeah, but I don't. I want to look. I want to keep my." And I shit you not, when she said this, I almost passed out. She goes, "I want to keep. I want to keep my lady figure." I'm like, "Bitch, you look like fucking pudding right now in the dress." How do you think you look that good? Putting on some muscle is sexy. Looking like you're fucking toothpaste coming out of a tube of toothpaste, it's sad. And she thinks she looks good. So again, there's got to be something, guys, in the Ozempic that's changing everybody's psychosis around. Because she didn't look good at all, but she thought she was hot shit. Johnny 308, I'm hearing about that. I'm hearing a lot of people. There's a lot of bad things with Ozempic. A lot. You know? But hey, let them take it until they get sick. Yeah, Fizz. I remember I Come in Peace. I just watched that a couple months ago. Still a good movie. Still a good movie. Yes, and the aliens were harvesting adrenochrome from us. Yes, that was a good movie. They could definitely get away with a sequel. That fucking gun was insane. I was just like, oh, that was a cool gun. That was a cool part of the movie. And those aliens, I mean, like I didn't get it until I was older. They were supposed to be 7 feet tall. You know, they were supposed to be 7 feet tall, but they weren't. I mean, like just the way it didn't mesh well. But in the writing, in the screenplay, it was supposed to be 7 feet tall aliens, if not 8, and they were supposed to show the height difference, and they couldn't. But now with special effects, they could even redo the movie and it'd be awesome. You know, but that gun was insane. Yes. So who's the other? Sharon Osbourne, Ozzy Osbourne's daughter, right? Not Sharon. Ozzy Osbourne's daughter. She looks like shit. She thinks she looks good. I was like, wait, you look like a bag of dicks, lady. How is this fucking how Ozempic is changing people's psychosis, hands down. It has to. Because the other side of that coin is that people are lazy, right? So they don't want to work out. So now they take this drug, and now they're like, you know, they take this drug and they think they look good. And I'm like, no, you don't look good. You look like fucking AIDS. Like if AIDS had a face, that's what it looks like. An Ozempic face. Not to mention all the other problems: losing their teeth, bad smell from their body. Either their breath smells like shit all the time, or they have a sulfuric smell coming from their body. Right? That's like what's his name mentioned: bone loss. The teeth thing was insane. Hair loss for some people. You know, pox on their faces, skin disorders. I'm like, why would you take that? There's so many drawbacks from taking this, and people know about it before they take it. It's insane, man. I've never seen so many like these people thinking they look good. Like, yeah, Sharon Osbourne. I mean, Ozzy Osbourne's daughter, man, she looks like garbage now. I think she was better when she was thicker. Now she just looks like, ugh. It's just bad, man. Again, I don't know what's in this stuff, but it's changing people's brains. Yeah, she does look like the Walking Dead, man. Like this is what she looks like now. I mean, let's see if I could put the video up. Pretty sure someone's got to stop making fun of her. She's living her best life. That bullshit drives me insane. She's living her best life. Ugh. People say that to me. I'm like, living their best life. They just, I don't even know what that means. All right, see if I can pull it up. See what it looks like on here. But there you go. There goes a better looking version of her on the left, I take it. And on the right, she looks like dog shit. Why is that cool? It's not cool. And her mother looks just as bad. I mean, her mother always looked bad. But anyway, this is her. And let's see if we can get her mother on here. But again, guys, why do people think that this is okay? Right? Why do they think that that's fine? And then you have, and this would be her mother. Again, see if I can pull this up. And there goes her mother. Look at how, I mean, her mother, the mother never wasn't like that great looking, but look at this. This is Ozempic shit. That's insanity, if you ask me. That's insanity. looks like. Yeah, and again, these people swear they look good. I don't get it, man. I do not get. I mean, I get it if there's something in Ozempic changing their psychosis around. Yeah, 100 side effects, one remedy. That's the crazy shit. Like, and again, the crazy part, guys, is that there are doctors, there are people out there stating that they've tried everything. No, you didn't. You absolutely didn't. You didn't try everything. To lose weight, guys, there's a million and one things you can do. And yes, it sucks that you have to try 1,000 things to get to that one thing. But the one thing that everybody knows is that calories in, calories out, right? The more calories you put in, or rather, calories you put in, you should be having some of that leave as well through way of exercise, walking, whatever it is, right? If you put 2,000 calories into your body or 2,000 calories extra in your body, you're going to need to burn a lot of that off. You can't put 2,000 calories in your body and then sit there and do nothing, because then you're just going to get fat. But if you put 2,000 calories extra into your body, or let's just say your maintenance is 2,500. If every day you're doing 3,000 to 3,500, you're going to get fat. But if you're hitting your 2,500 caloric intake a day, you'll be fine, right? But now you're taking Ozempic and you're eating less, and now you're well under your caloric intake, not to mention whatever this thing does to you, right? Which is it's stripping something from your body for you to think you look good and for you to look like that. And that's the other thing, Keisha. A lot of people sit there like, I tried everything. Did you stop eating junk food? They're like, yeah, all right. Did you try going for a walk after each meal? Everybody I ask that question, they go, no, start doing that. I guarantee you, after each meal, you start going for a nice walk, you're going to lose weight because your body's going to be like, what the fuck? Broke stacker. Low carbs are good. I mean, people do it. Low carbs are great for a diet. I think you're supposed to hit your carb intake for the day. But if you're looking to drop weight, low carbs is good. But I wouldn't. I would do healthy carbs rather, right? So I would stay with white rice. I would stay with sweet potato, maybe even mashed potatoes, shit like that. Certain breads like what's the bread that's really good for you right now? Sourdough, right? Sourdough bread's good for you. That's possibly the only bread that's good for you because it's good for your stomach. It creates great stomach health within the body, sourdough. And that's possibly the only bread that I know off the top of my head that's good for you, right? And if you're pregnant, sourdough is even better for breastfeeding because sourdough bread breaks down in this enzyme that you pass on to your kid that helps you and your kid fight cancer. Right. So again, that you can look more into that, but yeah, that's a real thing. So yes, pumpkin. People are lazy. That is the bottom line. People are straight up and down lazy. They want the fast way. They want the fat to melt off, and they don't want to work out. Like I'm 48. I want to continue to look something of strong, or at the very least, not a fat fuck. Right. So trying to get down to the weight of 245 is my next stop. Stop there. Eat like shit for a week, boom, try to drop more weight. That is my next stop, man. It's 245. And I've been fluctuating between 250 and 255. I haven't broken it yet. So I'm coming back down now. I went to 257 was my heaviest in the last 2 months. I see 257, I'm like, nope, and I get it back down. But that's also going for walks and things like that. Like after I ate dinner, I did a full workout, right? I did a full blown workout. Oh shit, it's 10 o'clock. Thank you, Scott Hummer. Appreciate it. Anyway, guys, with that, I will see some of you guys on the Angry Truth channel. Again, that's going to be pretty quick if you must know. It'll be pretty fast. I'll say about 20 minutes or so. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it as always. Yeah. See you guys Tuesday. Thank you. And Keisha, thank you for that. But I am 48. I'm not lying about it.